Oh my gosh. Uh, all right, so we are live on YouTube. Enough of that stuff. Welcome, we're here with Zita Schmitt and Lynn Johnson, and we're reading the Clairs for course students. And really interesting. This has been a very interesting book. We're about halfway through it.
Hmm.
It's a very small book, but
Right.
uh, we, with all the chatting and stuff, uh,
Yes.
we
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 extend it. We extend it.
yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be kind of boring just to read a book.
Yeah.
That happens a lot of times.
Right.
People will come on and just, "But I'm going to read this book now," and then no commentary, no thought. But this stuff is to be looked at and thought about and practiced. That's the thing about this too, is that she kind of gives you some little practices to,
Yeah.
make yourself more clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Wonder what happens if I open this with Google Docs.
Huh.
I'm going to try it.
Okay.
It might be better.
You
It
might
might.
learn something.
Yeah, I might learn something. I always see that up there and I always think, I wonder what would happen if I did that. Uh, Not any much better. Oh, maybe I can make it bigger though, because it seems kind of small, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. For people to be able to follow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I can even make it bigger than that, I
Hmm.
think. Let's see what 200 does. Oh, then it takes it off the page kind of, but maybe not. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too big.
No, you can center it. I think you can still go a little bit more if you wanted to, or you can just go back to the other one.
Here, how about that? Is
Uh,
that working?
uh, um, is that? Yeah, that's good.
Okay, okay.
That's good.
Cool. All right.
All
Well,
right.
learn something new every day, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we're
Uh,
on page 30.
and actually, I can close that. So yeah, I had us on our page, and
Mhm.
then I wonder if this thing works like this because oh no, on the other one you could click
Oh,
there and it would take you right to it. It was a
well,
link, but
now we
this is
know.
fine. It's not as pretty either, but
No, I kind of like the other one.
well, you know what?
Right?
We can do what we want. There we go. I'll actually make this one bigger.
Hmm. There we go.
Oh, and we're right where we belong.
Yeah, yeah,
Our audience in the body.
yep.
See there.
That's where we
Nothing
are.
ventured, nothing gained. And I guess,
Perfect.
yeah, I can hide that. And there we go. All back to normal. All right.
Cool.
So we're reading Claire's for the course students by Corinne Zupko, and very interesting about the senses that we don't really know about.
Hmm.
So we're of course, you and I and a lot of everybody else
Hmm.
has already kind of known about this stuff, but she's putting it into terms of how A Course in Miracles works with it. So, I like that.
Me too.
Uh, okay. So Claire, audience in the body, would you like to read?
Sure. I'll take it off. So, clairaudience is an upper body intuitive skill. It is associated with the fifth chakra, throat chakra. Through the back of the throat chakra, we receive clairaudient messages and listen. Through the front of the throat chakra, we extend those messages into the world. That's a very interesting perspective.
That is an interesting perspective. And so we receive from the back of the throat chakra.
Yeah,
I just want to stop and think about where that is. Obviously, it's around the throat.
right.
So that coming like through the back of our neck.
Hmm. So it's basically the back of the neck to the front of the neck.
Yeah, interesting. And
And
I wonder because uh I have a lot of problems like with my neck.
mhm.
And
Mm.
like well, that's one of the reasons I had to go get a massage. The
Hmm.
my neck was, messed up or out of place or something. But I wonder if, your physical condition has any impact on that. Because I'm also thinking when we're talking right that area, that of course is where your ears are.
Mm.
It's right above that, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And actually your ears are connected because there's actually a pathway from the ear to the sinuses and whatever. And I've seen this is very funny, but with one time I think I saw where some woman swallowed some corn and choked on it, and it went up into that path and it came out from her ear. I don't know if that's
Oh,
really true, but you know,
wow.
I mean so there is a direct path, ears, if it comes in through the ears and goes out through your mouth.
Wow.
So uh
Yeah.
anyway,
I've
just
known of people who have choke on rice and it comes through up their nose.
up their
They
nose.
yeah.
Yep, that too. Actually, I've seen that. I've had that happen with milk.
Oh,
Like
yeah, yeah.
blowing milk out your nose. Actually, this is a fine topic for but it just show you that there's like all these. If you look
It's
at
all connected. It's all
if you look at a model of the skull or the head, you see how
Mhm.
it's all connected.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and I remember I was it anatomy and physiology class that I took a long time ago.
yeah, yeah.
So I was just wondering with what you started when you started commenting about this is how are they related? But I was also thinking, well, how are they related with any symptoms that we're having?
Yeah.
Um, like a long, 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 long time ago, it's been many rains and hurricanes and floods, who knows, since I was little, but I used to go with my mom and my grandmother. They liked to visit mediums and espiritistas. I don't know what they call them. What does that translate into English?
Like psychics or something, or
Yeah.
spiritualists. Did they talk to the dad?
Yes, and
Or
they would talk to the dead, but it was basically not necessarily bringing back, like talking to my grandpa who was already passed at that time when we used to go. But or before that, her, for example, grandmothers and stuff like that. No, it was more talking to certain um eminencies, as my grandmother used to call them. There, he's an eminence in medicine, or he's an eminence in whatever. And and so they would consult with things as to what do you think about this, or what should I name my baby that's coming that I'm pregnant with? Okay, the name should be this, and
what?
that kind of thing. But I remember this one lady, I'm sure her name will pop into my head at some point, um, that I used to go with my mom, and I mean, she went to her up until 1978, I think. Um, and she was saying that the lady would say, "Oh, I'm not able to do something I because I'm not allowing that to come through, like whatever it is." So
Wow.
she said that that's why she talked about it as a punishment, but I think it's more like a blockage because you're blocking it from coming through, or
Uh-huh.
you're not exercising clearing those energy centers, maybe.
Right.
So that's where I'm going through. I'm not gonna want to talk about, oh,
Well,
spirit is
I think
blocking
you're
or
right
anything.
there. So, and you know what? This is very interesting because a guy who used to teach here, you maybe even remember him a long
Mhm.
time ago, Cliff, his name was. He belonged to a church that was a spiritualist church.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of a Christianity, But what they do is when they have their meetings on Sunday, there will someone from the church, like Cliff did this, would stand up at the podium, and then people would ask him questions or talk to their past loved ones through him,
Mm.
and he would tell them these messages. He could give these messages, and it was a training that you went through when you joined that church,
Yeah.
uh, and I mean it was pretty crazy,
Hmm. Well,
because yeah he was a funny guy and really into A Course in Miracles and everything, and but he did that spiritualism, and so you're right. Anybody can do it. We just
mhm.
are blocking it.
Yeah. Yeah. And one other comment, and I'm going to reserve the rest of it for when we talk about clairaudience reflection questions. But um, the other thing is that according to, and this is according to, okay, don't take it as the word um, that everybody, this is Sterling I was talking about, sorry, according to Sterling, he's a psychic medium. He says that everybody is born with clairaudience. Every single person, everybody has it. And the rest, you have everything, he said. But the one that is more developed is the clairaudience. So, but some people have it at 10%, some people have it at 15, other 20, and it just keeps on whatever percentage. And you can ask him where are mine, and that's where I'm headed after when we talk about the reflection questions. I'll let you know what he said.
Okay. Oh, good.
But yeah. But it's interesting. It's just interesting to me. So maybe it's just a form of a blockage. Maybe the other thing, like the throat chakra, from what I remember, is that if you haven't been able to say your truth, or you've been quiet, you're not using your voice for good, that kind of thing, that you have a blockage. Or as a child you were told not to speak, not to think, and so you kind of repress yourself from that, and you keep that throat chakra small or blocked.
Right.
And then one of the symptoms could be that you get pain or a growth, or you have the thyroid issues, and you have all these different things that could be happening. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying
Right. Right. Because yeah, that would be
from what I've read and I've
blaming the
heard.
person for your sickness is caused because you did this.
No,
I don't
no,
believe that in any
no,
way at
no.
all. So
But if we work on maybe strengthening that chakra, clearing it, maybe. I don't know. But we'll see what she
maybe,
recommends, because she's talking here on how to strengthen it. So
right.
let's find out.
What we want to do, right? I mean,
Right.
I'd love to hear what other people are thinking.
Mhm.
I mean, back, were you the one that was telling me about that show called Pluribus?
No, it was not me.
Okay, all right. I started watching it, but it's on Apple TV, and I don't have Apple TV. Hopefully, they'll make it available in some other format. But it's really interesting. It's all about um, these. Here on Earth, we got a signal from an alien planet, millions of light years away, whatever, and we figured out that it was some kind of a biological, like a genetic thing. And so we put it into laboratories and had laboratories testing mice with this stuff. And I'm giving away the whole plot. But anyway, so uh, and the workers who worked with these mice had to wear spacesuits and everything.
Mhm.
And so they go in one day to check on these mice, and they find that one of them in the little cage has died. So the girl takes the thing and opens it up, and it comes back to life, kind of, and it bites her.
Oh,
And so then, her partner's running around trying to catch the mouse, and she's trying to wash out her wound and everything. And all of a sudden she kind of goes, all wobbly and everything. And
Mm.
then she's like all cool. And she goes over, she takes off her helmet. She goes over to the guy. She
Mm.
takes his helmet off and she kisses him. And he goes all wobbly. And then the next thing you know, they come out and they like, if they infect everybody in the whole place.
Oh.
And and it turns out, I mean, it like really quickly, the whole world gets infected with this. And what it is now we have one mind.
Ah.
Everybody, there's one mind, and everybody in the world, except for like these 6 or 7 people,
Mm.
are infected by this, and they all have the same thought. They're like, no, it just completely like
Mm.
it stops all the bullshit, really,
Uh-huh.
absolutely, because nobody wants to hurt anybody because we're all one person. And
Mm.
so
Oh, how cool.
but yeah, it was very cool. It's very cool. But then, the people that didn't get infected are like really freaked out and think something terrible has happened. And so I think it's going to go on about this woman who I've already learned to hate, who was
Oh
who's
no.
fighting against it. I mean, she's like, adamantly, she does not want to be, infected with this thing, even though everyone around her is having the greatest time. Everybody's all happy. They don't care
Wow.
about anything. Everything's going good. I'm sure it's going to turn out terrible stuff. But watching that, I'm like, yes, this is exactly. Wouldn't that be very cool?
Yeah.
And first, why these aliens would do that for one thing. Well, because they are very happy, I'm sure, and they just want to share it with everyone.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's really when we're talking about this stuff, we're talking about having one mind.
Hmm.
We're talking about that we are one with the universal mind and have there's no barriers between us.
Hmm.
So uh you know people might think, well, it'd be cool if I could hear your thoughts, but not cool if you could hear mine.
Yeah.
Well, That's what that's what happens.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't know. I think you probably share the idea. Maybe it would be a great thing for us
To
to.
have it. I think so.
Yeah, yeah,
I think so because then we have the everybody's well-being in mind.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
And
Meta, yeah.
uh,
Everybody's well-being. You
yeah.
may all.
I mean, it would be, I mean, in the beginning, I think once we all become one mind, theoretically, but I mean, this is what we believe in, right? I mean, we know that with the course, we are
Right.
one mind. But let's say the movie plot and we are thinking about it like you were talking about it. If we do become one mind, I think in the beginning it's going to be rather um how do you eye-opening because we we will learn things that we had no idea about or we suspected because we have some clear one of the clears that we were like, I knew about that. Uh, but and also now everything that you've done, everything that you've ever thought, everything that you how you feel is also being shared. So
Right.
in the beginning it's going to be all that yucky stuff and it's like, eesh, I'm sorry. Like, but once all that is out of the picture, I think then it would be good because one mind, we all forgive each other and we know that we are one. So we were just having a very isolated, siloed experience.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that even the yucky stuff, you
Yeah.
would immediately know, hey, nobody has done anything. Seriously, nothing has happened here. And because you could see the reasons why,
Mhm.
all those things, you would know
Mhm.
the reasons why. So
Well,
you
isn't
could
that
forgive people.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but
Go ahead, yeah.
isn't isn't that what happens when at least some of the many indies that I've been listening to, I don't know, at least 100, if not more, um, that they say that they understand everything. They know why everything is the way it is. It's like they come to that um um omniscience.
Omniscient. Yeah,
Omniscience, yes. They come to that where they just get it.
yeah,
And they anything that they've ever felt for anybody bad because they were hurt about it, they understood why all that had to happen. It's like they got it.
yeah, yeah.
So I think you're right. I think in the beginning, that's the first step is going to be like, oh, oh, I
Oh,
get it.
I'm sorry. I think there's going to be a lot of I'm sorry going on at
Mm-hmm.
that very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, why it's so beautiful. I do that Ho'oponopono.
Right.
Uh, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Always being, I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
seriously, I'm
Yeah.
way sorry. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I think I say lo siento so many times every
I
day.
know. Yes. Sorry. No, mine is sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Everything. My gosh.
No. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I was just gonna say that after it's like, don't you feel like in the moment that you actually say it, it almost opens up a field? I don't know how I just had that vision in my head that or how I felt before when when you say it, even if you're just when you're talking to someone and not necessarily talking, but let's say you do something and you're like, "Yeah, I'm sorry," but it opens up I don't know how to explain it for me. It's an energy that I feel for me that expands.
Well,
It
yeah, it's
right?
you're connecting
Yeah.
empathetically with another
Yeah.
person.
Ooh,
You're
word that yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, we are connected. I think we've
Yeah.
talked before about the what do they call it? Empathy gene or something
Mm-hmm.
that that everybody has, and that we connect to each other
Mm-hmm.
in a very real way. When I see you hit your hand on the door, get your I
Mm-hmm.
feel pain.
Mm-hmm.
When I mean, I feel it, not because, I'm imagining it, but because I literally, when I see something, if somebody get hurt,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of these little videos that people post out that
Mm-hmm.
they
Oh
think are
yeah.
funny of,
Yeah.
kids running and banging into things. And
Mm.
I mean, to me, it's like, holy,
Ow.
I can't
Yeah.
stand it. Like,
Yes. 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 I feel like through my back something, like an energy running through
yeah.
my back, my tailbone, or my legs whenever I see somebody fall or and like, I feel it.
Yeah, I do too. And
Weird.
and also
Yeah.
like a little flip in my tummy.
Hmm.
Sometimes, I just like whoa, like it's happening to me.
Yeah.
And I know it's just because that connection that we have, and that's very primal. I'm
Yeah.
sure that's been with us our whole evolution, because
Mm.
that's how we learn uh to empathize with each other, and take care of each other. And
So true.
uh I've seen, when they talk about, ancient people and like cavemen, whatever, there's a lot of proof that they cared for their sick, they cared for their elderly. There's, people who had, they could see had life-threatening injuries that were, taken care of and nourished. And, they didn't, just drop you if you got hurt. They had a very loving family relationships, just like we do now. It's been common through, it's part of our being. So, that's how we took care of each other, and still would be taking care of each other if we didn't block that empathy gene off. And a lot of, I mean, even the culture, even our politicians are
Mm.
saying, empathy, that's a made up word, is not it's a bad thing, they shouldn't be teaching you to be empathetic. I mean, holy cow. But
It's a woke thing.
it's a woke thing. Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Wake up. Don't you want to wake up? Come on. You want to stay asleep and forgetting who you are? Uh, Not me, and I don't want you to either. I want you to wake up. So, anyways,
Mm.
okay. So,
There
how
we
does
go.
declare audience?
Yes.
Okay, so practice energetically grounding your body. What the heck does that mean? Do you have? I mean, I kind of have a thought, but uh,
Well, I mean, to me, how I equate that, because it's like when you do meditations, sometimes like guided meditations, the grounding means you put both feet on the floor, like you can sit, or you can sit with your legs crossed, but if you're sitting on a chair, you put both feet on the ground, and and then you visualize yourself extending from a light from out from the universe, God coming through you, filling your whole entire um, energetic body, right? Going through the energetic body, filling up all your every part of you, going through your feet, and then going straight to Mother Earth and grounding yourself to Mother Earth. It's almost like
I love
opening up
that.
the connection between God, spirit, with God, we're within God, but that's the whole imagery that we use to ground. And then you stay in that space, basically being in the present moment, right? Because once you ground yourself, you stay in that present moment, almost like waiting for, like,
Exactly. So
just wait.
yeah, so practice that. And yeah, I do that, it's a very similar type thing, and I never really thought about it as energetically grounding my body, but that's exactly what you're talking about.
Hmm.
That is what happens.
Hmm.
So you're connected. You
Yeah.
practice connecting.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I like that. And then the next one is practice stream of consciousness writing.
Hmm.
And I've done some of that.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah,
And for me, it happens more, again, when it maybe that's the whole idea. It's being in the present moment, but also not only that, but also like if I'm I forget the books, the the voice and then the other voice. I can remember.
oh yeah, the other voice and Journey Beyond Words.
Yes, Journey Beyond Words. With that one, you get so close to love. I mean, it's like you could almost touch it. And of course, it's all based on the Course in Miracles, right? That's all he's doing. Then there's also, of course, he received it that way. It was stream of consciousness writing for him because he was
Absolutely. Yeah.
connected. Then you have, for example, oh my God, I'm trying to remember her. And I loved her books. She's one of the ones that I connected with from the beginning. Stovall, Stovall Shin.
Oh,
Um,
Goebel, Florence Goebel Shin.
yes, her.
Yes.
I read her books, and oh my God, it was for me like walking on a cloud kind of experience, because
Yeah.
I would just I read, right? I'll read a paragraph or whatever, and I just sit there, eyes closed. Mind you, in those days I was because of my life situation in those days, I had to go to Starbucks to to be alone. And so I would just sit there, eyes closed. I had the ability to do that because I didn't have to do anything else. And so I would just sit there and just meditate, I guess, ponder on her words and what she was saying. And all of a sudden I would start having these um, thoughts just come through. And I just started writing. I just figured I'm going to just start writing. And so I would write all this stuff that was coming through me. And and then when I would read it again after, I was like, wow, I know I did not do that. I know that
Right.
wasn't
Yeah,
me.
that was my thought.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
think you have to be like it's inspired in spirit as I think it was Wayne Dyer who used to say that. It's like being inspired is being in spirit. And
Yes.
being in that moment, it's like you allow for all this stuff to just flow through you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, or music, like a lot of people, and this is another thing I keep plugging Sterling. I have nothing to do with him, okay? But Sterling Psychic Medium, he talks about this is what happens to a lot of artists.
Uh-huh.
Let's say Taylor Swift, for example, or anybody that writes music and they get inspired and they just get a download.
Right.
They hear it in their mind and they because they have the ability to write it, they'll write it. But Michael Jackson, for example, he would hear it in his head, but he didn't know how to write it. So he would hum it and he would tell these other people, hey, write this down, or here, I want us to write this song. And he would hum it to them and he would explain to them what he's listening to be able to get it out and into the world. And I thought that was like, wow, that's really cool, um, to be able to do that.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah.
And you're making me think too, Bruce and I are reading Ken Wapnick's biography, called The Symphony of Love,
Mhm.
and we're reading that on Saturday mornings. And he was extremely inspired by music, inspired by music,
Yeah.
by Beethoven and such. And I mean, it's really interesting to hear or to read about Ken and his relationship to music. Um,
Um,
as it was, in fact, a lot of his workshops are, called or about music, and he talks about how the different symphonies and everything come together. In fact, the name of the book is called A Symphony of Love, uh,
uh,
because he loved music so much. But yeah, and Helen also, who scribed the Course of Miracles, she also loved music. And so, and back then, they had, what music they had was on like record albums
mhm,
or actually going to the concerts. And I'm inspired to go to a concert just to feel that
mhm,
feeling of being uplifted.
mhm.
Uh, and talks about it. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's like a tuning fork, isn't it? Don't
Yeah,
you think?
yeah, exactly.
It's like tuning yourself to higher consciousness, let's say, or to a higher frequency. That's really amazing just to think about.
To think about it, yeah. And you mentioned, I think your name was Florence. I have to go and look. I'm pretty sure
I
that's
think
what it
it's
was.
Florence
Florence
Scovel,
Global Shin
Scovel Shin. I
and her
think,
yeah.
yeah.
And that was where I got that meditation that I do,
Oh,
where uh, I just go into all the times that I ever felt holy in my life,
yeah.
and re-emphasize to myself
Mm,
uh um my holiness.
mm,
So and it really was I mean, I've done it for years and years, and found it to be really helpful whenever I was feeling like I wasn't good enough. Scoville, it's Scoville.
yeah, Scovel, yeah.
Scoville Shin.
S-K-O,
Yeah, yeah.
S-K-O-E-L, yeah. S-K.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But that's where I got that from, was from she uh I did a book study with one of her books with Lisa Natoli, and that's where I got that from. And I mean, it's powerful,
Yeah,
powerful.
they
So
are. She was an amazing lady.
yeah. Yeah,
And this is back
exactly.
in what year? 1800s or early 1900s?
Yeah, early 1900s, that's where all these
Yeah.
really crazy philosophical
Mm-hmm.
uh I mean stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stuff was going on back then. That's where we got that book, The Impersonal Life, which is uh really amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
she died in 1940.
Oh,
So
wow.
she was 1871 to 1940.
Wow.
Florence Scovel Shinn.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Interesting.
She was a
Wow.
very interesting lady. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was clairaudient, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Claire.
She was
Uh,
a lot of players. Yeah.
that's clearing going on. So
Yeah.
so it's that paying attention, they're doing that stream of consciousness writing.
Yeah.
Pay attention to synchronicities.
Mm.
And I know you do that. I do that as
Mm.
well. Because things seem to be just so coincidental.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I remember that book, The Celestine Prophecy. I don't know
Oh,
if you read
I have
those.
not. No, I've heard about it, but I never read it.
Yeah, they really emphasized all these quote synchronicities
Okay.
that were really just planned connections. So,
Mm. I love
so
these next ones too.
yeah.
Use
So
your
yeah,
voice.
go ahead and you read it.
Okay. Use your voice to speak, express emotion, and release emotion. That's the energy that we were talking about earlier, right? To not hold back. Of course, not to use it for bad, but to express yourself in a loving way, to be able to say. And mind you, I know that when you express yourself, whatever you're saying may not be received in the same way that you think it's coming out. Uh,
Yeah.
but but then it's not on you because you're just saying you're speaking your truth. Obviously, not with the intention of hurting anybody, but I'm just saying, if something is bothering you because you know what it is, and you say, hey, this is what I think, and this is how I'm feeling, and basically you're letting it go, because if we don't, then that stays there. It's like you can't, it blocks that energy center. Then do not hold back impulses to express yourself, even if just on paper or spoken silently to yourself. If the content of expression is hurtful or clearly of the ego, speak it to the Holy Spirit to get it out and release it, as ego harmfulness does not belong in your holy mind.
Uh,
Could not have said it better than that
yeah,
is
that's yeah.
so true.
And that doesn't mean go up, well, to be honest, I really think you're, a mean person. That's not expressing yourself.
Yeah, I
That,
know.
this idea that, somehow or the other, I have my truth that I can express to you.
Mhm,
I don't think that's what she's talking about here at all. I'm sure of it. But um expressing yourself, the content of your holy mind, uh then and if it is hurtful or clearly of the ego, yeah, speak it to the Holy Spirit, but don't spew it out into the world. Let the Holy Spirit um transform it. So you may go to the Holy Spirit with I just hate this guy because, he's ruined my country and I don't, I have all kinds of bad thoughts about him. Go to the Holy Spirit and talk about it and let the Holy Spirit take care of it instead of posting on Facebook and telling everybody, everybody, I mean, seriously, I think there's just so much we feel empowered to
mhm,
spew hatred.
mhm. Or to
And
continue that practice anyway.
yeah, yeah,
Strengthens it strengthens the wrong power.
yeah,
It
absolutely.
strengthens the ego more than anything else.
And that is not what we're here to do.
No. We're trying to keep them in its place.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
then what's next here? Oh, okay. So here are the clear audience reflection questions.
Mhm.
And I'll let you read.
Sure. Have you ever experienced a synchronicity like seeing patterns of numbers or reading a phrase like I am safe just as someone happens to speak the word safety to you? If so, pay attention to this. You can use your clairs to tune into what the message is within the synchronicity. While this is subject to misinterpretation, the goal doesn't have to be that you are perfectly accurate. The goal is that you are listening to what comes through you and you can hold your interpretation lightly. As you practice this, you will get better at discerning between the meaning of messages that you interpret versus a meaning that comes to you from a deeper place. Do you want me to just read them all and then we can talk?
Sure.
Okay. Do you receive downloads of music, poetry, art, or words? If so, this is your clairaudience in action. When you experience difficult feelings, do you express or suppress the feelings? Energy, including the energy attached to words and feelings, needs to move. Rather than suppress your feelings or try to intellectualize your way out of them, express them. And if the feelings could hurt other people, express them to the Holy Spirit in order to move through them.
All right. More of this? No, that's the end of that part.
That's the end of this book.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the end of Clairaudience,
Okay.
I think.
Uh, so I think we've talked a lot about having synchronicities and
Yes.
the numbers and hearing the word at the same time that the word is being said,
Hmm.
or thinking, or even turning on the radio and the song that's playing in your head is playing on the radio.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happens all the time to me.
Yes. But one thing that I think, at least for myself, that I don't do consciously is what does this mean? Like, try to understand what does this mean? Um, I know, for example, sometimes I get a lot of messages through through license plates. This
Oh,
is just I've had every time I'm driving, I'm always looking at drivers, the not drivers, the what are they called? License plates. Is that what I said?
yes, license
Yes.
plate.
Okay. Okay. Through license plates because um, the numbers that keep repeating for me sometimes, well, not repeating all the time, but I'll see, for example, the month and year of my dad's birthday. I'll see my mom's uh, same birth and year, or I see the sorry, month and year, or I'll see the day and the month, or the month and the day, it reverses, it goes in differently. And so my thought in those moments is to say, hi, mom, hi, dad. Um, and sometimes it'll be messages like it'll have their whatever month or day or and month and year, whatever that the letters are in such a way that I get what they're saying. Like, for example, an I and a L and a U, I love you, and so things like that, that are very, very clear that I'm like, oh, love you too, like, um,
Uh,
yeah, things like that. And I have this experience with my dad. After he passed away, he was gone, I want to say maybe about a month. It was very, very recent. And I was driving back from somewhere, I don't know, but I remember exactly where I was. And This was in Walnut Creek, I think, or Pleasant Hill. I think it was Pleasant Hill. And I was turning on one of the streets. It was Contra Costa Boulevard geez, okay, I'll think of the word. But it's one of the big streets there. So I was turning, I was made a left, and then I was waiting under all these freeways, the freeway that was going back and forth, so underpass, and was waiting for the light. And it's a very busy intersection going, it goes many different ways. So there's several, you have to wait your turn. And as I was waiting to make that left to go wait again under the intersection, or I I was melting. I was just like just falling apart, I should say, with my dad. I was just crying and crying and crying. And because I had not had that opportunity to cry. Um, and all of a sudden there were three cars that were in front of me, not, like I one to my right, to my left, one in the middle, and one to the right. And when I looked at them, when my eyes filled with tears and I was wiping my tears off so that I could see, I look in front of me and I read from all of them. I found a message from my dad that was saying, I love you. It's okay. Something like, don't worry. That's the message I got in that moment. And I felt so connected to him at that point. Like, I know he's not gone. And so ever since then, I started, when I was driving sometimes, my dad loved to hold hands. Okay. That was his thing. You would go visit, and he loved hugs. So you hug, and then talk about how you're doing and all these different things. Of course, he complained a lot, but but that's besides the point. So he would sit on his favorite couch, and I would sit next to him, and he would always grab my hand, and we were always like holding hands, not the whole time, but we would hold hands for a while.
Right.
And so now when I'm driving and I'm by myself, I would just extend my hand over to the passenger side, and I would extend my hand out and just hold his hand. And it was in my imagination, but I also felt like it was a true thing. So I do get a lot of messages, I guess, in that way through these synchronicities, I guess, because, it just happens to be. Jorge had another one where after he passed away, there was this guy on a motorcycle that looked exactly like my dad. And the man looked over at Jorge and smiled. And Jorge's like, "Oh my God, that's Joe. That was my dad."
Wow.
And my dad never rode a motorcycle in his life. I mean, I not that I know of. He might have ridden in the back of some, maybe. I don't know. And he was not that type to wear a full leather gear and things like that. But I think
Right.
that might have been something fun that he would have. It's just funny how you see people after they're gone and they communicate with you, um, that they're coming back to tell you, "Hey, I'm okay. Look at me.
Yeah. I'm riding a
I'm living it up."
motorcycle.
Yeah, I'm living it up.
I'm living it up. And
Yeah.
of course, he's not gone anywhere. So,
No.
he could very well
No.
be there riding a motorcycle, just
Yeah.
like you in your dream. That's the thing, this is all a dream. So,
Mhm.
every figure in the dream is, some part of yourself that's expressing. So, why not? Yeah, it makes sense to me. I love it. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So this other one, like so we talked about the downloads of music, poetry, art, or words. Yeah, we've
yeah,
talked about that.
yeah,
But
for sure.
when you experience difficult feelings, do you express or suppress the feelings? And see, that is the one that I think, at least for myself, I need to work on. Um, because I was taught not to, not to express any feelings whatsoever. So they can go cuckoo, right? They can go all over the world, all over the place. But one of the things that I was told um, about the clairs is when this person who can, this is Sterling, who I'm part of his group. It's a paid thing. I know I shouldn't, but I did. And every 2 months or so, you can ask a question because there's so many people asking questions. And my question this Friday was, what are my clairs and how are they doing? And so he said that I had a 10% clairaudience. He said, but you guys know everybody's born with that. And so he has on his list, but of course you have to be paid, but on what to do. And I haven't done it, but he recommends to follow that and do that one. But then he also recommended oh, he also talked about my, yeah, I'm clear empath, and he it was so funny because he's like, oh, you are fully clear empath, like you have that. Like but he's like, you need to control it because it seems like it's out of control.
Wow.
Um, and I'm like, yeah, because I can feel that. Like we were talking earlier about how we can feel and see the other person falling, and you're like, ugh, because it's
Right.
always on, and we need to learn how to not have it on all the time, you know?
Yes.
Um, and
Yes.
same thing with when you see the things that are happening in the world, it's like I have to turn off the that um radio or the TV or now case YouTube and say I'm not going to watch any of that stuff because I can feel that it's really messing me up. And I had a kind of like a breakdown, I guess you would say. I don't know, not too long ago,
Yeah.
that I just cried and cried and cried and cried. I want to say about a month ago.
Yeah.
Um, that I needed that outlet because after that I felt so much better and I talked to my daughter and those things were, it felt better. But there's a lot going on, and if you are not able to express it in a good way, it's just gonna come out in the
Right.
wrong way.
You know what, though, Zita?
Uh-huh.
What the Holy Spirit's told me, or my own intuition, or whatever has told me,
Yeah.
is that when I look at a brother and
Hmm.
I think that something is happening that is so terrible that they can't handle it, I'm really looking at them and thinking, you are not as strong as I am, or or God is, you're not experiencing God's connection, or somehow or the other, I'm looking at them and thinking that they are different.
Hmm.
And, I realize that, if I was in that situation, whatever it is,
Hmm.
that I would know that I was okay
Yeah.
because I have that connection with the Holy Spirit. And so I look at that. I just read a thing this morning,
Hmm.
and I'm sure you probably don't have any disagreement on this,
Hmm.
about a young kid that was picked up by ICE in August, and he'd been held, he'd just been let go. And he was supposed to be going to school. He was supposed to be in his senior year of high school, and he's missed all his school and everything and been held captive in this whatever. And I didn't read about his circumstance, but I recognized that, wow, first off, I was really mad and like really wanting to hurt people about it,
Hmm.
because that's the first thing I go, "Oh, I gotta go kill
Hmm.
him to do that to him." But then also I recognize that this is a part of his path.
Hmm.
And as crazy as it seems, it's a part of his path. It's his uh his ascent
Hmm.
into godliness, actually,
Hmm.
recognizing that his own spiritual being has the power to live and thrive beyond any of these things, to be crucified and still come back to life.
Yeah.
He has that same exact power as did Jesus and as do you and I.
Right.
So, instead of looking and being, accusing my brothers and being angry and being sad and feeling like, oh, this poor kid,
Hmm.
what a terrible thing to happen. I had to actually look and say, he is a sovereign being just like I am.
Hmm.
And for me to feel sorry for him
Hmm.
is to feel sorry for Jesus on the cross. And
Hmm.
Jesus on the cross is saying, don't cry for me. I am fine.
Hmm.
I will return. I live.
Right.
And, I mean, it sounds like, wow, that's kind of crazy, Lynn, but, but actually, when I look at it through my own eyes, I recognize, yes, I would be able to stand this.
Hmm.
Yes, I would be able to love those guards.
Hmm.
I think about, the Corrie Ten Boom and her sister that wrote that book, The Hiding Place,
Hmm.
where they were captive by uh, the Nazis during the war,
Hmm.
and they saw their own parents murdered, and saw all this terrible stuff, and they gained compassion for the captors.
Wow.
They gained compassion because they knew that those people had terrible suffering too. And
Hmm.
actually, I think they like made like a place for them after the war,
Yeah.
because well, nobody wants to do those things,
Right.
but are compelled by something. Either they're forced to it, or they're like right now, I cannot imagine what would compel a person to join ICE.
Yeah.
To apparently they give them a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Obviously they must already have a deep hatred in their heart
Yeah.
for people of you know whatever,
Or
and
just people in general. Yeah.
people in general. And it's a deep hatred that they have for their own selves. They can't even stand their own selves, and that's, I can only, first I just want to do something terrible to them, but then I realize they're already doing something terrible to themselves. And, I want to ask, how can you live with yourself? But that's what, how? Obviously it has to be extremely painful to them, even though they may not recognize it now.
Yeah.
In their spirit, they know this is not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And, maybe not now, but maybe later at some point in their life, it's going to hit them. Hey, I did this thing, I, because they have to know what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
Uh, that's just
Yeah.
God given.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I mean, we talk a lot about things, and I know we're over time, but um, we talk a lot during after dinner. Like we sit and we talk, and it's the four of us talking. And a lot of these things come up where these injustices or somebody dying, you know, what we think is a too early of a death because it was induced by somebody else. And but then you also think, and I truly believe that number one, like you said, we have a life path. And believe it or not, we picked it before we came. We wanted to have that experience. We wanted to experience that crazy mad dream. Um, and the other thing is this death of the body was also something that was picked,
Right. Yeah.
and that you will not exit this dream or this world um, unless it's your agreed upon time. It just will not happen. It's not like somebody snatched it away from you and oh darn, you did it and now I didn't finish what I wanted to do. No. It's all at the time. It's always at the perfect time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And when we think of all these terrible things that are happening, they are terrible things.
Yes.
However, we also know that there are so many people, so many actors in this play that chose that part.
Right.
Yeah, they selected that. And we are not participating, as far as we know, hopefully never, that we have to go through that. But if we had to do it, we would do it.
Right.
And like you said earlier, and I really love it, is that that God is with you and that nothing would change it. Like nothing would change that. That you can handle it, basically.
Yeah,
You're able to do.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Lynn.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then I have to remember that you're not weaker than me.
Yes.
You're all the same thing. We all have the Christ. We all have the same Christ spirit in us. We all have the same loving heart. And, we will come to, wake up from this sometime. And then we're all going to laugh about it. And
Yeah.
it'll be like, oh, remember that time I murdered all your friends? Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah.
pretending for a long time.
Oh
Well,
my.
I really,
That reminds me of I don't know where I read this, that life was like a play like that. That he said, imagine, and I don't know where read this, and it was very not very recent, like in 2 months ago. It's been a couple of years ago or three or whatever. But they were saying that that life is like a play. You are all actors on a stage, and this one actor is the one that comes and like he kills everybody. I didn't want to say it like that, but kills everybody and then kills himself, and that's the end of the play. And so the curtains go, they close, and then all these actors, they just get up and like, hey, you did great. Oh, great acting. Da, 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 da. And that's how life is, that
yes.
you will get up and thank the other person for playing that role. Hey, you did a great job at being the murderer.
And that was real realistic. And
Yeah.
wow, but you did a great job of screaming and falling dead too. Wow, yeah, that was fun. And you're right. I mean, absolutely right. When the play is over, everybody gets up and takes a bow. And
Mhm.
that's exactly what's going to happen here.
Mhm.
So, why do I worry about it now? Although, I'll watch a movie and worry about the characters. I'll read a book and worry about the characters. I'll
Yeah.
read and have to go to the end of the book and see how it ends before I read anymore because I don't want, I mean,
Because you're an empath.
yeah, because I'm an empath. Exactly.
I
Exactly.
want
Yeah.
to make sure they're okay
I
before
want
I
to make sure
continue.
they're okay before yeah. So next week we're going to start with claircognizance. And
Yes.
I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um, but thank you so much, Zita. I so appreciate you.
Thank
And
you.
I love our little Sunday talks.
Me too.
And I know the
Thank you,
holidays are
Lynn.
coming and there may be times that we might not be able to get together, but I just as for now, I'm still shopping. So
Yeah. Me too.
all right, I
Love you
love you
so much.
guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye-bye. Bye,
Bye bye.
Jorge. Love you.